welcome back to another session of the Hopry. My name is Ordell Roby.
And I'm Beaumont Livingston.
And here we are with round 2 of Mikkeller week. So on Monday we took a look at the It's Alive, which was the Orval tribute. It was, you know, overall it was decent, but not the best beer I've had by any stretch of the imagination. But today we are going to be looking at the Mikkeller Jackie Brown, which is a dedication to the Quentin Tarantino film, also the same name, and the lead character Pam Grier was Jackie Brown. As you'll probably guess by the name of the beer, it is a brown ale, and this one clocks in right at about 5.9%, 6%. And the thing that's interesting about this one too is it was also brewed at the De Proof brewery in Belgium. So I think this one's a year-round beer, so you should be able to get it pretty much any time you want. But how did you like Jackie Brown, the movie?
Loved the movie.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the movie immensely. I mean, it's Tarantino. Come on. He writes a brilliant movie.
Yeah, and I think in terms of writing, I think that's his best movie too. Now, I wouldn't say, actually I would say it's my favorite movie of his. I mean, they're all a little bit different, but anyway, yeah.
And as an editor's note to everybody that's out there, I will say that I believe on Monday's episode I did misspeak. I think I called Mikkeller a married band of vagabond Norwegian brewers. Sorry.
Scratch that.
Scratch that. They're Danish. This is me overdubbing Danish instead of saying Norwegian. My apologies.
Hey, you know what? It happens, man. We're not perfect.
I said fermentating.
You did say fermentating, so
you phonetically spelled it out for everybody to see.
I did.
Awesome.
So, well, anyway, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Jackie Brown. Should be Wednesday now when you guys are watching this show, but you know, continuing on with the Mikkeller focused week. You know, again, Mikkeller is one of my favorite breweries. You know, I think most of what they make is really on the cutting edge. I kind of think they're, and I think I've said this before, I think they're kind of the European version of Dogfish Head, you know, where they're really trying to experiment, trying new styles, variations on new styles. So really enjoy everything that they do, and, you know, again, wanted to kind of get them on the show. So let's go ahead and smell it and see if it smells like Jackie Brown.
Hops.
Which I don't know what Jackie Brown smells like.
Does she smell like hops?
Maybe. I would hope that she smells like hops.
The first thing that I notice is definitely hops. That's the first thing that jumps out of the glass.
Yeah, I definitely get the hops. You can really tell that it's a traditional brown ale, meaning I don't think that they tried to go too over the top with the brown ale recipe, but I do think the addition of hops, and what does it say? It says they've got nugget hops, Simcoe hops, and Centennial in here. So you are going to kind of get some of the piney, citrusy components, which, you know, this isn't an IPA, so it's not like it's so hoppy that you're like, oh, it smells like grapefruit and pineapple and things like that. But I guess more of the grassy, you know, I guess, I don't know.
Simcoe can even get, you know, beyond cat pee. It can almost get a little resiny too.
Yeah, I get the resiny on there for sure. I just went and tasted it. I don't, you know.
What do you think?
What I guess I must think this is my house and I can just drink whenever I want.
Well, it is. Mi casa, su casa. Ordell.
Ordell. So yeah, there's a little bit of hops in there.
The hops is a little bit more upfront than you would expect.
More bittering though than you know, anything else. Like I'm really getting that kind of a coffee bitterness. It doesn't taste like coffee, but the same kind of, you know, roasty bitterness.
Astringency almost.
Yeah.
The hops are definitely prevalent in the profile. I mean, it's a brown ale, so it's not going to be anything, you know, fantastic as far as, you know, something that's going to knock your socks off. And by any means, I'm not going to say that as far as, you know, to your comment earlier, it's not, as far as brown ales go, it's definitely not anything that's going to blow your doors off. The one thing that is drawing me into liking this beer more than I probably would otherwise is that hop profile that's in there. Because, you know, they use a couple of my favorite hops. I know, you know, the smell of pee can be weird, but frankly, when it's
especially when it's cat pee,
especially when it's cat pee. Yeah. But when done right, it can be very good. You know, it can add a nice twist to some, citrusy or some piney hops that are in there. And for anybody that hasn't known or really experienced Simcoe hops, watch the Hopry session that looks at the Weyerbacher Double Simcoe.
Yeah, definitely.
But I digress. The hops are definitely what's carrying this beer for me.
And I think that's a really good point. I'm going to even elaborate on that. I think that if it weren't for the hops, I would be extremely underwhelmed by this beer. Which, I mean, I don't know if it just kind of frustrates me because we've had the It's Alive and it was very underwhelming. The Jackie Brown, it's good. I mean, these are good beers. They're just not, blowing my mind like I really had hoped that they would. Now, I will preface this by saying that I'm not the biggest brown ale fan anyway.
Right.
So it's almost like I feel like you better just, blow my socks off for me to love a brown ale.
So we had some pretty high hopes coming into to Mikkeller week that we're going to get, again, just our socks knocked off by some great beers. And so far, I won't say run of the mill, but
And you know what? Maybe that's the point. Because what's really kind of interesting to me is that I reviewed their Mikkeller 1000 IBU just recently, and that thing was just enormous. I mean, it was so flavorful that it almost was too flavorful. Probably about 6-8 months ago, I did their Mikkeller Big Worst, which was their big barley wine. What I'm getting at is that those beers are almost, too far at the end of one spectrum. I'm not saying that these are at the other end, but, I guess I want a little bit more body in these beers, a little bit more flavor, and I feel like right on the edges, they just really, this one and the It's Alive have just really fallen flat. It's like, it's really good up to here, but then it just ceilings off. And that's it. And I'm really kind of looking for that wow factor, even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm just not getting that from this beer or the It's Alive on Monday.
But so far, we're at least able to see what Mikkeller is up to as far as what they're trying
variety
to do. And they've got if you look at what they make, we were actually talking earlier tonight that when you look at the beers that they make, they don't just have them listed by beers that Mikkeller has made. They've got it listed by beers that Mikkeller has made, and they actually separate it by the brewery that they brewed them at. He said earlier again that this one was also brewed at De Proef in Belgium, and they do brew a lot there. They do brew some other ones where they share some space with Hun Bryggeriet, and I'm gonna butcher it, but so they've also
and nobody can say that name right. I don't even think the brewery says it right.
When did people start spelling stuff with zeros? That's all I know. I didn't know zero was a letter.
I have no idea.
Is it a consonant?
I know they're a great brewery, but goddamn it if I can't say their name.
I'm not even going to try.
Well, guys, that about wraps it up for today. Hope you've enjoyed this session, and look forward to talking to you guys on Friday. And again, we'll be sharing the Beer Geek Brunch Weasel, and we'll be talking about poop.
Poop on.
Nice. Well, guys, thanks a lot for coming back to the Hopry. My name is Ordell Roby.
And I'm Beaumont Livingston. Peace.
Put yourself, fool!
I'm depressed. It's 2 beers.
Yeah, man.